Has Erling Haaland confirmed his Borussia Dortmund exit? Roman Abramovich really pushing for this move now. Chelsea also interested in Federico Chiesa. What? Where has this come from? We'll also be speaking about Tammy Abraham, his imminent move to West Ham. We'll be giving you guys all the latest news reports, news stories, articles, etc. But before I do get into all of it, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down below your thoughts and opinions on each story that I do speak about. But without further ado, let's get straight into this news story. And starting off with the biggest news story, Erling Haaland, another Erling Haaland update for all of you. Now today, Erling Haaland returned to training for Dortmund. As you can see right now on your screen, he returned for training for Dortmund, of course, for the upcoming season. We know Dortmund are planning to prepare for the season for Erling Haaland, their best player, of course, their most prized asset. However, something interesting happened today, which we will be discussing. But initially, let's talk about the first report. The article written by Sports Bild, a German publication. Chelsea want to guide Erling Haaland to London with a mega offer of 175 million euros. Yes, an astronomical and a staggering fee. This is the interesting part now, and this is the new information. Haaland was stopped by reporter Jörg Weiler. Jörg Weiler, just an interviewer, and he actually did a little interview with Erling Haaland. I believe it was this morning or yesterday. And he essentially asked, in German or in English, he asked, "Will you stay at Borussia Dortmund this summer?" And then Haaland's response was very interesting. He said he thought about it for a moment. He didn't say anything. He stayed silent. And then he reacted with a big smile and said nothing. Just a smile and said nothing. Now that is massive. That is a huge indication that Haaland could be on the move. And of course, that is likely to be the Chelsea, because there's no other club really that can afford Haaland's fees, wages, transfer fee in this climate, in this economy, and of course in this pandemic. Now, what I found interesting is his response, because he said nothing and he just smiled. Now, some people are going to look at it and say, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just, he's just smiling. He's having a bit of fun." I don't take it that way. I take it quite seriously, because there's no reason why he should be smiling and saying nothing. If a Chelsea player is contracted to Chelsea and a reporter asks him, "Will you stay at Chelsea?" a normal response would be, "Yes, I'm contracted to Chelsea. I have X amount of years left on my contract. I'm staying at Chelsea." But no, what does this guy do? This guy says nothing. This guy just has a big smile. And it just, listen, he's a joker. But at the end of the day, it means there is something going on behind the scenes that we have to take seriously. And ever since the Euros finished, which I kept reiterating to you guys, is ever since the Euros finished, things are going to be hottening up. Things are going to be intensifying, especially the Haaland news, because we know Roman is desperate for Haaland. We know Chelsea need to solve their striker problems. Fabrizio has already confirmed for weeks now that Chelsea will 100% be signing a world-class number 9 this summer, whether it's a Haaland, a Lukaku or Griezmann or whoever. Chelsea will definitely be signing a world-class number 9 this summer. We know Tuchel was a massive fan of Haaland. We know that Haaland is interested in signing for Chelsea, and he could imagine himself playing for Chelsea as well as liking Thomas Tuchel. So everything is starting to fix now with all the jigsaws and all the puzzles. And the missing part is the transfer fee, is negotiating directly with Dortmund and agreeing a transfer fee. Now, as I said yesterday, of course, Dortmund have confirmed that if an offer of 175 million euros came in directly, it could be, they simply can't refuse it. Now, as I said yesterday, 175 million euros does equate to about 150 million pounds, which, listen, is staggering. It's an astronomical fee. And let's not forget, that's not going to be it. We're going to have to pay a significant commission to his agent Minirola, and then we're going to have to pay another significant commission to his father, Alfie Haaland, who is also his agent alongside Minirola. And let's not forget his stupendous wages as well, which is going to be making the highest earner at the club, probably around the figure of 350 to 400,000 pound a week. And as Fabrizio confirmed, about 12 million pounds a season. Let's say hypothetically over a 5-year contract, that's about 60 million pounds in total, plus a transfer fee 150, that's 210. The 40 million, 50 million commission, you're looking at 260, 270. Then the bonuses, clauses, add-ons, you're easily looking at over the course of the 5 years, the whole financial package to be about 300 million pounds, which of course is an insane investment. And that's why when you're investing that amount of money, you expect instant results, you expect instant returns. And that's why I do have some reservations and concerns, because let's not forget, as generational as this guy is, as world class as this guy is, he is only 20. Let's remember that. So there is a certain amount of bust potential here. What do I mean by bust potential? Where he could potentially flop at Chelsea. There is no guarantee with any transfer fee. When Neymar went to PSG, Mbappe, when we signed Morata for 70 million, there's no guarantee these players are going to succeed. As good as he is, there is still a room for error. And why do I say that? Now, I've always maintained and had the standpoint at Chelsea, especially last season, we do not create enough high-quality XG chances, right? Now, some of you are going to say, what are you talking about? We missed so many sitters last year. Yes, we did. However, we do create chances, but a lot of them are low-quality chances. We don't create high-quality chances like your Man Cities, your Bayerns, because we don't have a creator in our team. Mason Mount is not a creator. He's in the team for a different purpose. Kai Havertz, again, is not really a creator. He's more of a striker / false nine. He's more in there for his movement, his finishing, his passing, but he's not exactly a natural creator. Ziyech is supposed to be our creator, but he flopped. We need to hope that Ziyech has a fantastic season. So for me, we don't have like a Kevin De Bruyne. We don't have a Thomas Muller. We don't have a Neymar. We don't have a creator in the team because Haaland's strength is not heading. How many headed goals has Haaland scored in his career? Very few. And Mason Mount, even though he creates a lot of chances, it's inflated because of set pieces. But if Haaland's not great at heading, that's completely redundant. So in my opinion, if you're signing a Haaland, you need to sign a creator. Or you need to be looking at a Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, those type of creators, those type of players that can feed to Erling Haaland. But as I said, there is a bust potential. But of course, there's also the fact that if you're investing this amount of money, you could get the returns. If he scores 25 to 30, goals in all competitions every season, no one's going to complain. Because again, you are returning, and that is obviously going to boost Chelsea to silverware, to titles. So again, as I said, I'm all for this move, but it is a lot of money. Let's bear that in mind. As we move on, Terry Flews on YouTube did a little podcast with Sports Pete, and he said that Roman Abramovich is the one who is pushing for Erling Haaland, and it seems Chelsea are willing to match close to Dortmund's asking price. He said 150 million pounds. And personal terms, of course, is not going to be an issue whatsoever, meaning that the wages in principle, even though it's informality, has essentially been agreed, which of course is good news because that's step one of the negotiation. Of course, step two is agreeing a transfer fee with Dortmund, of course. But that is wrapping up the Haaland news. Let's move on to some crazy news broken by Christian Falk early this morning. He stated that Chelsea have asked Juventus about Federico Chiesa. Juventus have declined talks. The basis of the negotiation would start at 100 million euros. Now, we all know Chiesa, he had a fantastic tournament, European champion with Italy, scored 2 goals. Yes, not a lot of goals, but in terms of his impact into that Italian national team, he was superb. He caused England a lot of havoc in the final. Again, he scored against Spain, their only goal, fantastic goal. He scored in extra time against Austria, and you could argue that he was one of Italy's best players in this tournament. And even though before, I knew Chiesa back in when he was in Fiorentina, he's of course a Juventus player right now, and he has been very good for Juventus. Again, Italian international, he was superb at Fiorentina. Now the situation with that one is right now is Juventus haven't actually permanently signed Chiesa from Fiorentina. He is still technically a Fiorentina player. He's actually on loan at Juventus, but the situation is Juventus have an obligation to buy. So he's not a Fiorentina player, but at the same time he is, if that makes sense. So he's on loan, but there's an obligation to buy. So he practically will become a Juventus player. Now, as Christian Falk reported, the basis of negotiation would start 100 million euros, which is around 80 million pounds. Now, before I continue, let me just say that is ridiculous amount of money, absolutely ludicrous, because let's be serious, Chiesa is a fantastic talent, still very young, still very raw, a lot of technical ability. He would of course bolster our squad, but we have a lot of attackers, especially if we're trying to sign Erling Haaland. So if we sign Erling Haaland, and of course Giroud's gone to AC Milan, Tammy will most likely go, which I'll be speaking about later in the video. If we did sign Chiesa, Ziyech would have to leave because we have too many attackers. Now later on, Fabrizio confirmed that there is no chance Chiesa leaves Juventus. So hopefully that's kind of squashed things. But I thought I'd talk about it because it's still interesting. Chiesa is a player that I'd love at Chelsea. Maybe in the future. He's had a fantastic tournament. And could there be some interest? Because Christian Falk is a tier 1 journalist. So let's wait and see what happens. I personally think it's a smokescreen for the Haaland news. I don't see Chelsea spending, 175 million euros and 100 million euros on 2 players. So that means signing Haaland and Chiesa for 275 million euros. Ludicrous stuff. I don't see that happening because we still need to bolster other areas of our squads. So I believe it is more of a smokescreen for Erling Haaland. But what do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But moving on to the final news story, of course, it is Tammy Abraham. We know Tammy Abraham has acquired interest from Aston Villa and West Ham, and it looks like West Ham are leading the race. Ex-West Ham employee, a Twitter account, very reliable when it comes to West Ham and Chelsea news. He, of course, is on the Byline podcast working with Alex Goldberg. He does release some exclusive content because he has got sources and connections. So he is tier one when it comes to West Ham and Chelsea news. He stated that Tammy Abraham is said to be keen on a move to West Ham. He is friends with Declan Rice and he wants to stay in London. A move for him is expected to be made within the next few weeks. Now, that's massive. That means that he could essentially be imminent. His move to West Ham is going to be imminent. It looks like West Ham have taken the lead. We know Chelsea wanted around 35 to 40 million pounds. Let's see how much West Ham are willing to pay. We know West Ham also need a striker. And I think West Ham is his level. West Ham are playing Europa League football. That's fantastic for Tammy Abraham. He's still going to be able to play in the Europa League. He's got European football to look forward to. He still stays in London. So, of course, he's still settled in the Premier League in London. I think for all parties, it makes sense. We get him off the wage books. We get a transfer fee in. We, of course, get rid of our deadwood and then we can reinvest back into the squad. A good player like Tammy Abraham to improve his development, his growth and development, moving to a club like West Ham where he can further grow and develop. West Ham get a quality striker who can start for them. I personally think it's a win-win. So let's wait and see what happens with this one. But what do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But that is me wrapping up the news daily. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.